Chakra Blades. The Chakra Blades are quite iconic, being ninja weapons masterfully wielded by Asuma Sarutobi. These special blades are relatively short, shaped like daggers, but their modest appearance belies the incredible power they possess. They are made from a unique metal capable of absorbing and amplifying the user's chakra. I still vividly remember the scene where Asuma demonstrated their power to Naruto. When chakra is infused into the blades, they become significantly sharper, able to cut through tree trunks and crack rocks. It's worth noting that their design is more suited for cutting and slashing rather than stabbing. This allows Asuma to attack from a much greater distance than a typical dagger, greatly enhancing his striking power. However, like any weapon, the chakra blades have their limitations. They are still melee weapons, requiring the user to get close to their opponent to fully utilize their potential. This was a crucial weakness when Asuma faced Haiden, an opponent with immortality who could defeat his enemies from a distance, a hard counter indeed. After Asuma's death, his student Shikamaru Nara inherited these blades. It was fascinating to see how Shikamaru integrated the chakra blades with his shadow imitation shuriken technique. He used them to extend the range of his shadow manipulation abilities, showcasing a brilliant evolution of their use. Just a sec, I just want to say, thank you so much to everyone who helped us hit 1,000 subscribers. Our next milestone is 10,000, and while we know there's always room for improvement, your support means a lot to us. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it. Thanks so much again. Next, triple-bladed Scythe. The triple-bladed Scythe is an incredibly iconic weapon in Naruto, instantly bringing Haiden to mind, and vice versa. It looks insanely cool with its dangerous and menacing design. 3 blades arranged in descending size from top to bottom, giving it impressive reach. Interestingly, this weapon isn't designed to deliver an instant death to its opponents. Instead, it serves a far more bizarre purpose, collecting the victim's blood. Structurally, the scythe is connected to an extremely sturdy metal cable, strong enough to block attacks from kunai. This cable not only extends the scythe's attack range, but also allows Haiden to manipulate it flexibly in the air. However, to be fair, it's quite a cumbersome weapon. This shows that Haiden isn't particularly known for exceptional speed, although his skill in wielding the weapon is undeniably masterful. As a fanatical follower of the Jashin cult, Haiden was granted the terrifying gift of immortality by the god Jashin, a dangerous power in the hands of someone as deranged as him. In the battle between him and Asuma, with just a small cut and a tiny amount of Asuma's blood, Haiden was able to curse Asuma and perform his deadly ritual. After licking his opponent's blood, he stepped into the Jashin circle, activating a horrifying connection between his body and Asuma's. Every injury Haiden inflicted on himself was transferred directly to Asuma. Although Haiden still felt the pain and both sides suffered, his twisted nature found pleasure in those moments. Haiden relished the pain, enjoying the suffering it brought. Despite the support from Shikamaru and the team, and even though Asuma had a chance to counterattack and decapitate Haiden, it was all in vain. Haiden's immortality, combined with his deadly ritual, led to a devastating defeat for a skilled ninja like Asuma. Indeed, the 3-bladed scythe in Haiden's hands was not just a weapon, but a tool of death, a means to carry out the brutal rituals of the Jashin cult. It perfectly reflected the insane and ruthless nature of its wielder, making it one of the most unique and fearsome weapons in the ninja world. Kusanagi. This is a very powerful legendary sword and the signature weapon of Orochimaru. Orochimaru famously used this sword in his fierce battle against the 3rd Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi. During their confrontation, Hiruzen summoned Enma, who transformed into a staff as hard as diamond, clashing fiercely with Orochimaru's Kusanagi. Despite being said to have the ability to cut through almost any material, it seems the sword's limit is diamond, although it still caused Enma pain. We can also confirm that it cannot break through the chakra chains created by members of the Uzumaki clan. In another battle, Orochimaru faced off against Team 7, led by Yamato at the time. During this encounter, he once again summoned this fearsome sword to fight Naruto, who was out of control in his Four Tails form. The sword was unable to pierce Naruto's protective chakra cloak, proving that the cloak's hardness rivals that of diamond. This moment highlighted the sword's limitations. While it can penetrate most defenses, it is not invincible. But a legendary sword is still a legendary sword. What makes this weapon truly terrifying, beyond its sheer power, is its undeniable flexibility. The sword is summoned in a rather bizarre way. Orochimaru opens his mouth, a snake emerges, and from the snake's throat, the sword is revealed, ready for combat. It can also fly straight out of his mouth, launching itself at targets, as seen when he attacked Scythe's ink clone. The blade can change size, growing larger or shrinking as needed, and can even be controlled remotely, following Orochimaru's every command. We see this when he simply flicks his finger, and the sword stabs the third Hokage from behind. It's almost mystical, like a Bluetooth connection. The sword can also transform into a snake to return to Orochimaru. However, the fate of this sword took a different turn when Itachi Uchiha sealed it, along with the part of Orochimaru within Sasuke, using the Totsuka blade. Although Orochimaru later resurrected, the sword never reappeared, perhaps forever lost in a dreamlike world. Giant folding fan. Now, when you think of Temari, what weapon comes to mind immediately? It's definitely that giant folding fan she always carries. It might look somewhat traditional, but this is far from just a decorative item. It's a formidable weapon in the hands of the ninja from the Sand Village. The fan's main power lies in its ability to create powerful artificial wind, and not just any winds. These gusts are sharp like blades, capable of slicing through even large tree branches. Remember when Sasuke had to take cover behind a tree because he couldn't withstand the force of these winds? That shows just how terrifying it can be. With this fan, Temari can control the battlefield to a significant extent. We saw this during the Chunin exams. Any regular weapons like kunai or shuriken aimed at her were either deflected or completely redirected. Not a single one could touch her. Even more impressive, the fan is a natural counter to genjutsu transmitted through the air. Remember the mission to rescue Sasuke? Tayuya gave Shikamaru a hard time with her flute-based genjutsu, but Temari simply swung her fan once, and the entire genjutsu was blown away. Easy game. The fan's handle probably isn't made of regular wood. It's crafted from sturdy metal, possibly steel, which allows it to double as an effective combat staff. After launching Tenten into the air with a powerful gust of wind, Temari even made sure her opponent fell right onto the fan's handle. Just watching it looks painful. The handle's toughness was further proven when it blocked a kick from Rock Lee, one of the top taijutsu specialists. However, like everything in the ninja world, even the fan has its limits. In the early stages of the series, it was indeed a formidable weapon. But as the story progressed and faced opponents of incredible strength like the Third Raikage, the powerful winds from the fan, no matter how strong, weren't enough to make a difference. Understandable, considering how terrifying the enemy was. Speaking of Temari, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge Tenten, a character who, in my opinion, has great potential but wasn't fully utilized. From the very beginning, when she appeared alongside Team 3 with talented teammates like Rock Lee and Neji Hyuga, Tenten made a strong impression with her expert weaponry skills. I feel like anything she holds in her hands could become a weapon. Her fighting style is deeply rooted in traditional ninja techniques, where she skillfully uses various weapons like kunai and shuriken. However, as the series progressed, and the ninja world became more intense with powerful jutsus and enemies of overwhelming strength, basic techniques like throwing kunai or shuriken seemed to lose their effectiveness. This made Tenten's strengths appear less significant over time, and her screen time in the series was even less than that of the swing in the village. It's truly a shame for Tenten. She could have been developed into a much stronger character, with more unique and creative weapon-based strategies to adapt to the new era. She really got the short end of the stick. Hiraishin Kunai. When talking about iconic weapons in Naruto, it's impossible not to mention the Flying Thunder God Kunai of Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage. This is not just an ordinary ninja kunai, but the key to activating one of the most iconic techniques in the ninja world, Hiraishin no Jutsu. In terms of design, Minatos Kunai has 3 blades, with 2 smaller blades symmetrically positioned on either side of the main blade. The handle is thicker than usual, making it heavier than regular kunai. This design allows enough space to carve the formula for the teleportation technique. It's these markings that turn an ordinary ninja knife into a destination point for Konoha's yellow flash, meaning Minato can instantly teleport to the location of the kunai, no matter the distance. In his battle with Obito Uchiha, Minato showed us why he was called the fastest ninja. By combining these kunai with the Flying Thunder God technique, he was able to avoid all of Obito's attacks. Obito, despite his Kamui ability, avoided Minato's kunai, and we saw it pass through his head. However, Minato was able to teleport to the kunai's location and attack Obito from above with a Rasengan. That was a painful strike. Obito could barely touch Minato, but Minato could, and even managed to leave a seal on Obito. He then teleported to Obito's position and took control of the Nine Tails from him. Obito's Sharingan couldn't predict Minato's next move. Puppets. I've talked about puppets in previous videos, but they are truly iconic and deserve a mention in this one. When you think of puppets, the first name that comes to mind is probably Sasori, right? In fact, there are only 3 notable users of puppets in Naruto: Sasori, Chiyo, and Kankuro. Only ninjas from the Sand Village use this type of weapon, but these puppets are so powerful and iconic that they have become a unique fighting style in themselves. Ninja puppets are not just ordinary dolls to be controlled. Every part of their body can be turned into a weapon, giving their users countless ways to use them in battle. Essentially, ninja puppets are a highly flexible long-range weapon. They're not only used for attacking, but also for effective defense. And they even have the ability to control and block an opponent's movements. This makes the art of controlling puppets incredibly frightening in the hands of masters. Though there aren't many puppet users, the puppets they use are incredibly diverse. Let's take a quick look at one, Karasu, the puppet that first appears in the series. Kankuro usually wraps Karasu in cloth and carries it on his back. Even more interesting, he can switch places with the puppet using the substitution jutsu, creating moments to trick his opponents. Another notable puppet is Kurowari, literally meaning black ant. Its overall shape looks like a large barrel, giving it a distinctive and intimidating appearance. Although capable of fighting, it is primarily used for capture. Kankuro used it to trap and restrict the movements of Sasori and Deidara, 2 powerful Akatsuki members who were resurrected by Edo Tensei during the Fourth Great Ninja War. Though Kankuro couldn't quite shut down Deidara's loud mouth. Then there's Hiruko, a puppet armor that allows Sasori to hide inside. It is used for defense and can also attack with a scorpion-like puppet tail. We can't forget about the third Kazekage puppet. This is the result of Sasori turning the body of the third Kazekage from the Sand Village into a human puppet. The effort Sasori put into creating this puppet made it one of his most cherished works. This puppet also possesses the unique abilities of the person it was turned into, controlling iron sand. The strongest puppet might be Sasori himself. When controlling it, he places his living self inside the left chest compartment. As a puppet, he can also control 100 other puppets. This army of 100 puppets is said to have wiped out an entire nation. They're similar to clones, but they lack coordination. However, with their overwhelming numbers, they are more durable and harder to defeat than clones. They can wear down any opponent with long-term strategy. We also have the Chikamatsu collection, a priceless legacy created by Monzaemon Chikamatsu, who is considered the father of puppet mastery. Later, this collection was passed down to Chiyo. These puppets were designed to work together to unleash destructive power, far surpassing ordinary puppets. Chiyo used them to fight against Sasori's 100 puppets. We can see them using taijutsu, kenjutsu, and even ninjutsu, and their strength lies in their ability to coordinate. It's possible that each of Chiyo's puppets was even stronger than an average Chunin ninja. Samehada. When talking about Kisame, no one can forget about Samehada, right? The legendary sword that has been his companion for so long. They have been together for so long that their chakras have become in sync, and Kisame can use this connection to hide within Samehada, making it difficult for normal sensor ninjas to detect him. Samehada is not like an ordinary sword. It is covered with a collection of fish scales that point downwards and run along the entire length of the blade. At the end of the handle is a small skull marking its uniqueness. Interestingly, the size of Samehada is not fixed. It grows in proportion to the amount of chakra it absorbs. When it absorbs more chakra, its scales grow longer, and the blade's tip starts to look more like a shark's mouth. Even more fascinating, Samehada is not an inanimate object. It's almost like a living creature with its own sense of perception. Like a gourmet, it particularly enjoys chakras with a special flavor. For example, according to Kisame, Killer Bee's chakra tastes like octopus, which Samehada finds very appealing. On the other hand, it seems to dislike fire-type chakra because it is too hot. With its intense craving for chakra, Samehada also serves as a natural chakra sensor, always drawn to powerful chakra sources. Samehada is very picky when it comes to choosing its master. It has the power to decide who it wants to serve. If someone it doesn't accept tries to use it, spikes will emerge from the sword's handle, forcing them to let go. After that, it will find a way to return to the master it has chosen. However, it did betray its previous owner to follow Killer Bee. Despite this, its bond with Kisame was so deep that it mourned when Kisame died. When it comes to attacking, Samehada does not stab or slice through the enemy like regular swords. With its special scale structure, it causes damage by tearing and grinding down anything it touches. In addition, the sword's handle is extremely flexible and can bend, allowing it to be used as a powerful club in battle. One could say that Samehada is one of the most unique and powerful weapons in the Naruto world. Uchiha Gunbai. Uchiha Gunbai may not appear often, which leads some people to think it's not iconic, but it's actually one of the most powerful and amazing heirlooms in the Naruto world. Like the Sharingan, it's also one of the symbols of the Uchiha clan, and its user is none other than Madara. The Gunbai is crafted from the wood of a rare sacred tree, Ryouju, which is typically used to make special ceremonial tools. This shows the high status and importance of this weapon in the Uchiha clan's culture. During the Warring States period, the time when Madara lived, many shinobi are said to have died when facing Madara and his legendary fan. Later, Obito Uchiha also used the Gunbai while pretending to be Madara, fooling others into believing he was Madara, before returning it to his ancestor when Madara was summoned during the Fourth Shinobi World War. As for its power, the fan has the ability to absorb and reflect all of an opponent's attacks, turning them into a powerful wind release technique. Because of this, its strength can be compared to the sacred weapon Yata's Mirror of Itachi in some ways. We don't know its exact limits, but we've seen it handle Naruto's mini Biju Bomb and easily withstand Guy's powerful taijutsu attacks with his nunchucks. Madara typically uses it as a shield combined with a close combat weapon, while Obito is more flexible, using the chain attached to the fan's handle to control it. He can use it as a close combat weapon, as well as extend its reach. And even though it's made of wood and doesn't have sharp edges like a sword, it's incredibly durable and can smash through rocks and land without any damage. Look at this. This was once where the clan kept their treasured heirloom. Seems like the Uchiha clan really has many to keep. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.